Can I be honest with you for a second? You did everything right. You watched the last video, you sat with it, you felt something move inside you that you had not felt in a long time. Hope, not the loud kind, the quiet kind, the kind that whispers, maybe this time is actually different. And you went to sleep that night with something that felt almost like a plan. Tomorrow I start. Tomorrow I make the move. Tomorrow things begin to shift. And then tomorrow came. You opened your eyes, sat on the edge of your bed, felt the morning settle around you, and looked at the thing you were supposed to do, and your body said no. Not maybe, not later. No motivation, no reason you could explain to anyone, including yourself. Just a heaviness, heavy like a blanket you did not choose. Heavy like a thought that never fully leaves. Heavy like someone turned the volume down on everything that used to matter. And the heaviness you could have handled. But then the voice came. You know the one that has been there longer than you want to. Admit. It said you already knew this would happen. It said you never actually change. It said what was the point of watching that video if you are just going to end up here again. And the worst part about that voice is not how cruel it is. The worst part is how familiar it sounds. Like an old friend who knows exactly where to press. So now you are here. Same place, same feeling, same question sitting in your chest like a stone. Why do I understand everything and still cannot make myself move? I want you to hear this clearly. That question is not a sign that you are hopeless. It is not a sign that you are beyond help. It is actually the most important question you could be asking right now. And the answer is not what you think it is. Stay with me, because this one changes things. In episode 2, we talked about the wall. The one your brain quietly built after the moment everything fell apart. Not to trap you, to protect you. And when most people hear that for the first time, something inside them softens. Because for years, they had been calling themselves lazy, telling themselves they just did not want it enough, believing that something was fundamentally wrong with them that was not wrong with everyone else. And suddenly, there was a different explanation, one that made sense, one that did not make them the villain of their own story. And I know how that felt, because I have spoken to enough people in this exact place to know that relief can feel almost like grief, like you are finally being told the truth after years of being lied to. And that relief is real, every single bit of it. But here is the thing nobody warned you about after that moment of clarity. Understanding the wall does not make it disappear. And this is the part where most people get blindsided. They think awareness is the finish line. They think once you understand why you are stuck, the stuck feeling goes away. But it does not. Not immediately, not automatically. Not just because you finally have the right words for what is happening. Because the wall was never only in your mind. It lives in your body, in the tightness that wraps around your chest the moment you think about trying something that matters, in the exhaustion that arrives before you have done anything at all, in the fog that descends quietly, the moment you get close to something real. Your mind has moved forward. It understands now. It has the language now. It is ready, but your body is still standing in a different year, still standing in the room where things fell apart, still holding the door closed against something that hurt you once, still and that gap between where your danger is right outside waiting for you living is the part nobody talks about. It is also the part that destroys most people's progress, not because they stopped trying, but because nobody told them the gap existed. I want to take you back to something. Not a memory that is easy, but one that is important. Think about the moment that started all of this for you. The failure that changed how you saw yourself. The rejection that landed harder than you expected. The moment you gave everything you had and still watched it fall apart anyway. You do not have to name it out loud. You do not have to revisit every detail. Just feel the edges of it for a moment. Because when that moment happened, something remarkable occurred inside your body. Your nervous system did not just record the event like a camera. It recorded the entire physical experience of it. The way your chest collapsed inward. The way your breathing became shallow and strange. The specific weight of realizing that something you deeply wanted was not going to happen. And in that moment, your nervous system made a decision. Not a conscious one, not one you agreed to, a survival decision. This feeling must never happen again. And so, it built a tripwire, an invisible alarm wired so deep into your physical responses that over time you stopped noticing it was even there. It just became the way you felt around certain things. Heavy around opportunities, foggy around beginnings, exhausted before anything that matters even starts. And every time you approach something that resembles that original moment, your nervous system does not pause to ask if this situation is actually dangerous. It fires first, it protects first. It shuts things down before you even have a chance to choose. Your energy drops before you open the application. Your mind empties before you write the first word. Your legs feel heavy looks at all of that physical evidence and draws the conclusion it always draws. See, you cannot do this. You are not built for this. You already know how this story ends, but I need you to hear what is actually happening in those moments. That is not the present speaking to you. That is the past playing on repeat inside your body. A memory so deeply stored in your nervous system that it responds to the present as if it is still that moment, as if the wound is still fresh, as if the danger is still real, as if nothing has changed since the day everything fell apart. Let me give you a way to understand this that I think will stay with you. Imagine a child who burned their hand on a stove. Not badly, not permanently, but enough to remember. Years go by. The child grows up, walks into a kitchen one afternoon. As an adult, the stove is cold, there is no fire. The danger does not exist, but their hand still pulls back. Not because they are broken, not because they are weak, not because something is permanently damaged inside them, because their nervous system is doing the only thing it was ever designed to do. Keep them safe from something it remembers hurting them. The problem is, the stove is cold now. The danger passed, the moment ended. Life moved forward, but the body did not get that message. And the only way to send that message is not to think your way through it. It is to experience your way through it. Gently, repeatedly, one small, safe experience at a time, until the body finally has enough evidence to believe what the mind already knows. That things are different now. That you are different now. That the stove is cold. So, what do you actually do with all of this? How do you take everything you now understand and turn it into something your body can feel? Here's what I have found actually works. Not in theory, in real life. For real people who are sitting exactly where you are sitting right now. The first thing, move before your body has time to argue. Here is something most people do not know about the nervous system. It fires fast, but not instantly. There is a window, a small, quiet gap between the moment a thought arrives in your mind and the moment your physical resistance catches up to it. It is brief, a few seconds at most, but it is real and it is yours. Most people waste that window. They use those seconds to think about it, to weigh it up, to have the internal debate about whether today is really the right day. And by the time they finish that conversation, the resistance has already arrived, already made itself comfortable, already started listing all the reasons why tomorrow makes more sense. So here is the rule. When the thought comes, move in the first few seconds before you think about it. Not perfectly, not confidently, not with a plan fully formed. Just move your body toward the thing before the alarm has time to sound. Open the laptop before the fog rolls in. Pick up the phone before the excuses arrive. Put your feet on the floor before the heaviness has fully settled. It does not have to be impressive. It does not have to lead anywhere immediately. It just has to happen before the resistance does. Because here is what I want you to understand. The resistance cannot stop something that is already started. It can only stop things that have not begun yet. The second thing, make the action smaller than your fear. I know how that sounds. It sounds too simple. It sounds like it could not possibly be enough. But this is where most people make the mistake that costs them everything. They set a goal that is bigger than their current level of safety. They decide that this time they are going to completely transform. Wake up early, work harder, be a different person by the end of the month. And their nervous system looks at all of that ambition and does what it always does when it senses danger. It shuts everything down. Too much, too exposed, too similar to the last time you tried this hard and it all fell apart. So, instead of setting a goal that triggers the alarm, you set an action so small that the alarm has genuinely nothing to respond to. Not write the whole thing. Write one sentence. Not send the full application. Just open the page and read it. Not have the entire difficult conversation. Send one honest message that tells a small piece of the truth. Not fix everything. Do one thing today that your yesterday self did not do. I know it feels too small. I know part of you is frustrated because you want the big change, not the tiny step. But here is what is actually happening when you take that small move. You are not completing a task. You are collecting evidence. Evidence that trying does not always end in pain. Evidence that moving forward does not always lead back to that room. Evidence that you are capable of something today, even if it is small. And your nervous system is watching, filing it away, quietly updating the story it has been telling you for years. Every small, safe move chips away at the old memory. Every tiny action that does not end in disaster adds a new data point. And slowly, almost without you noticing, the old story gets quieter. The new one gets louder. And your body starts to believe for the first time in a long time that the other side might actually be safe to walk toward. The third thing, stop measuring progress by how far you have gone. Start measuring it by how many times you moved despite the fear. This is the shift that I wish someone had told me about years ago, because results take time. And when you are in the middle of rebuilding yourself, results feel impossibly far away. But attempts are immediate. Every single one counts. From the moment it happens, every time the resistance arrived and you moved anyway. Every time the fog came and you opened the laptop. Regardless, every time the voice told you it was pointless and you did the small thing despite it, that counts. Not as a consolation prize, as actual evidence. Evidence that is being stored in your nervous system right now, whether you can feel it yet or not. And here is what starts to happen when you shift to measuring attempts. The days that do not go perfectly stop feeling like total failures, because the goal was never the perfect outcome. The goal was the honest move, the imperfect attempt, the small act of choosing to move despite every part of you that wanted to stay still. And over time, the evidence accumulates. The chest tightness still comes, but it is smaller than it was last month. The fog still arrives, but it lifts in minutes instead of days. The heaviness still shows up, but your body has learned to move through it instead of being buried by it. Not because the fear disappeared, not because you became a completely different person overnight, because your nervous system finally has enough proof. Proof that the other side of the wall is safe. Proof that trying again does not have to end the same way. Proof that you are not the person you were in that original moment anymore. You have been gathering that proof every time you moved, despite the fear. Even when you did not know that was what you were doing. I want to take a moment before we close this episode, because I think you need to hear something that this series has been building toward. Look at where you started. Episode 1. You were sitting in the 0% club, the club nobody chooses, the one you end up in after enough failed attempts, enough disappointments, enough mornings waking up and wondering if anything you do will ever actually stick. And that episode asked you something uncomfortable. Which side of the line are you on? The people who never start, or the people who decide that today something changes? Episode 2 showed you the wall, the one that was never your fault, the one your brain built after a moment of real pain to protect you from ever feeling that way again. The one that disguised itself as laziness for so long that you started to believe it was just your personality. And this episode showed you the peace that most people never find. The peace that sits between understanding and changing. Your body needs evidence, not explanations. Your nervous system needs experience, not information. And your pattern does not break because you finally understand it. It breaks because you contradict it. Again and again, imperfectly, with moves so small they almost feel embarrassing. Until one day you look back and realize the wall is thinner than it used to be. The mornings feel slightly lighter. The voice is slightly quieter. The heaviness lifts a little faster than it did before. Not because you fixed yourself, because you kept moving despite everything that told you not to. And that is not a small thing. That is one of the hardest things a human being can do. Move forward while still carrying the weight of everything that tried to stop them. You are doing that right now. Even watching this video is part of that movement. Do not let anyone, including yourself, tell you that does not count. So before episode 4, I want to leave you with one question. Just one. What is the smallest possible move you could make today? Not the most impressive one, not the one that fixes everything, not the one you would be proud to tell someone about. The smallest one, the one so small your fear looks at it and shrugs. Find that move and do it today. Not tomorrow when you feel more ready, not next week when the conditions are better, not someday when the voice gets quieter. Today, while the resistance is still there, while the fog is still present, while the voice is still loud, because doing it despite all of that is not just progress. It is proof. Proof that you are not who that original moment told you that you were. And that proof is the most powerful thing you can give yourself right now. Now, before you go, I need to tell you something about episode 4, because what is coming next is something most self-improvement content never talks about. And I think it might be the most important episode in this entire series. Here is why. You are going to take the small move. You are going to start collecting the evidence. You are going to feel something genuinely beginning to shift inside you. And then something is going to happen that nobody prepared you for. Everything is going to get harder, not easier, harder. The anxiety will come back louder. The resistance will hit with more force than before. The voice in your head will get more aggressive, not less. And every single part of you will say the same thing. See, nothing works for me. I knew this would happen. I should have never tried again. And that moment, that specific moment, is where almost everyone quits. 3 steps away from the breakthrough, 1 decision away from everything actually changing. But here is what I am going to show you in episode 4. That moment is not failure. It is the most important sign that real change is actually happening inside you. It even has a name, and once you know what it is and why it happens, you will never be blindsided by it again. The people who do not know what that moment is quit right there and spend years wondering why they can never seem to follow through. The people who understand it push through. And on the other side of it is the version of yourself you have been trying to reach for a very long time. Episode 4 is coming very soon. Follow the channel right now so it finds you the moment it drops, because this next one is too important to miss.